So here's what I think about for 12-bar blues. First, the phrase 12-bar blues, like the bar refers to a measure. So the way I think about it is like the number of chords. Like each measure is going to contain a chord. So here's what I would think of first. If someone said play a 12-bar blues, I would do this pattern like. So I'm going to count the measure numbers. I'm going to use 3 chords. This is A, and then just adding this extra note. This is like an A power chord. So it's actually adding what's called the 6. This is the 1, 5, 6 of an A note. So this is A. This is a common blues thing. I'm going to move up to D and do the same pattern. And over to E and do the same pattern. And back to D. This can be like this. This would be the measure numbers. And you could do it a little differently, but like the overall structure would be the same. You could strum more times if you wanted. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So normally like musicians don't count past 3 or 4, so that's a little weird. That's why I accidentally messed up counting, but I'll do it one more time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So many songs have this structure. It's kind of like if you're learning about poetry or something, you would learn about different poetic forms and probably have a test on having to name those forms by the structure. So this is just one of those structures that's so common in music that you can start to identify it, and then if you know the structure and you're into blues music, you can get really good at coming up with like tons of tricks. So I'm not a blues musician, but like people have like lots of tricks for like what's called the turnaround, which would be at the last measure, or like maybe the last they would do for the turnaround, they would do something fancy on that last part. A lot of times they do like chromatic stuff, like, and people have tons of really cool tricks, and if you go buy a blues book, you can find like crazy stuff that people have come up with for turnarounds. So let me do it one more time, and I'm just going to play the bass note, because it's important to kind of see what, like, just the bass, like what's happening. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, wait. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can't do it like that. See, it's just weird. You just kind of got to know it. The first way I did it was alright, but I'll just strum it down here now with some chords. So these are like some basic chords to start learning. I would do A7. D7. E7, D7. See, like there, like I said, I'm not a blues guitar player, so like I don't really have like awesome turnaround tricks, but right there I just slid this A7 up to here. Like this would sound cooler to do like. Something like that, and then they would start to embellish it more and do crazier stuff, because a lot of people, that's all they do is play blues, and they come up with really cool tricks. So A7 is 0, 2, 0, 2, and you can hit the top string and strum from here. So I'll play it again, you can try to play along. This is 0, 2, 1, 2. E7, 0, 2, 0, 1. 0, 0, or you can put your pinky here. I'm just going to do a simple one. So it's going to go like this, A7. And D7. D7, A7, and then you can slide up to the 5th fret, the A7 shape, and just go. Here it is again. D7, A7, E7, D7. And then what you can start to do is make it bluesier, like people like to go. Oops, sorry. You could add like some of these notes, so people that are into blues, they start to just tweak out like even the normal chords and then the turnaround. So this chord's a little hard to do with D7, so like that's a sort of a common trick with A7. You can add this note. In D7 you could add this note, but it's a little hard to do it like this. But you can do it with D. E. So 12-bar blues is definitely just that structure for blues songs. And one other thing I would recommend if you're a beginner is to learn this pattern like I started with to do 12-bar blues, because it's so common and it's useful to know. It's like some people call it like the blues shuffle, which I think refers more to the rhythm, but sometimes I've heard people call it like this itself, kind of a blues shuffle pattern. What you do is like you take a power chord like 5-7, but then you got to do this stretch, like, because we're gonna need our pinky. So 5-7, and then on the same string, this finger's on with your pinky, you got to go over a whole step, so 2 frets. And you go down, down, up on each one. And if you kind of pulse your hand, you move it up to here. Same pattern. Now what's cool about this is you can move it anywhere you want. So we could, that was in the key of A, because this root note where we ended and started, this note is A. So we can move it down here, it could be in the key of G. We could go all the key of F. It doesn't matter, this is just getting harder to play because it's so wide. Trick I like to do, so you can move that around. You could even move the shuffle, one more thing. You could even move it up to here. This would be a key of C. So you move it up to the D string. And one other trick I like to do, if people ask me to play like a blues background, I like to just use this little shape. So like we could start here instead of shuffle. Sometimes I'll just do this little shape. What it is, it's this little triangle. So you can even hit the whole triangle. So 5, 4, 5. Maybe 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. 7, 6, 7. Or sometimes I'll just do these 2 notes, because this flat 7 is really bluesy sounding. And the reason why I'll do that is to add other notes later. Because it's easy to only think about 2 notes. But you could just be like... I'm only doing the 2 notes, and I'm muting the note in between. What's cool about that is later you can just remember you need that note, and then you can solo with the blues pentatonic based on wherever this note is. This is kind of like, it sounds bluesy and it works, but it's kind of like blues for people that aren't real blues players. Like real blues players spend like years learning all these cool patterns, and like there's definitely a huge difference between sort of knowing blues like I do here versus people who spend their life doing it. It's just crazy the stuff they know. But for sort of this kind of blues style, if you just want to make a little blues music, you can also be doing this pattern. So see, that was kind of bad because I was just the first round through, but the more you start to do it, you start to come up with cool stuff, and that's why I like this two-note pattern. Because then you can add this scale, which is the easiest scale on the guitar. It's the pentatonic scale. And you just do only the scale, and then so you play pieces of this. And what's cool to have like a phrase that you know that you're going to go back to from the scale. So that'd be like a common one. Then I try to mix that in occasionally. So like if you get a few phrases, maybe of that one you're gonna go to from the scale instead of just doing the scale randomly. So then maybe I'll do. So then there's like another pattern, like maybe I could add this in there. Like this sounds kind of chromatic. Chromatic is anytime you're going like note by note. It's called the chromatic scale. So maybe I save it to here. I saved it for the turnaround. It was kind of a lame turnaround, but it still like worked. And the last thing I would say about this is it's really useful just to learn like the main chords people tend to use. So you could do, like I said, A7, D7, E7. Those are in the key of A. The other ones people do a lot are, really I'll just do the most common ones I see. You could do E major, A7, and B7. You can do B7 like this, or like this. That's in the key of E major, and then in the key of G major. Those are the three most common I see. So G7, C7, and then D7. And then what's kind of cool about these dominant 7 chords is you can mix them up. So a lot of times you'll see like 4 of them together in a rock or blues song. So you could do E7, A7, D7, and G7. And then you can start mixing them together. So they're like kind of flexible. Like usually there's 3 chords in a key in a blues song, but you can start to mix them together, these 7 chords, and get some cool sounds. So I hope that made sense. So the main idea of the 12-bar blues is 12 measures. It's like a recurring pattern. You can think about like a sonnet or a haiku or something in poetry. But it's just like a really common music form. So I hope this helped. Bye.